Sean Green picking out lumber.
Studs. And what I'm doing right now, I'm making sure that these studs are straight as can be, because this is actually going to be for a wall that we're doing where we're extending the bathroom and making it bigger. And one of the points that you got to make sure that there's no warps or bend in the lumber. As we're picking these out, we want to make sure they're straight. And usually this is called a crown. When you're looking for crowns, there's no warps in it, because you want a nice straight wall. If we don't have a nice straight wall, you'll be able to see it on our finished product. So this is one of the main things when you're picking out lumber, is making sure we all have real nice picked out lumber that's straight, has no deficiencies in it, not a lot of knots. Because as you know, as most people should know, we don't want a lot of knots. Because if we have a lot of knots, basically when you're nailing it or putting it in your drywall and you hit a knot, it's just going to bend the nails. So usually we want to try to find good lumber for when we're doing our walls and our structural walls. There's no bad warps, a lot of knots. See, this one has a lot of knots. This would be kind of bad to try to pick out, because in case we hit that knot with a nail or a screw, we're not going to get a good grip as we're hanging our drywall or hanging fixtures or putting electrical or whatever the case may be. This way it makes our job a lot easier and a lot less stressful. So I'm just picking up, and then we'll be going up to the job site. I'll see even things like this. I picked out a bad one. This is too splintered. We don't want wood like that.
Sean Green's truck. This is the house. This is Sean Green. This is the remodel house.
It's basically an upgrade. This house has been purchased, and we were hired to come in and do a minor touch-up, somewhat of an upgrade, turn out some walls, scraping down the ceilings, putting in recessed lighting. This house was built in 1967, so most of the lighting that was in this house was from plugins in the wall. So what we've done is we've come in with our electrical crew, as well as our framing crew, to actually upgrade the house and bring it up to standards that the buyer would like. And that's recessed lighting, as well as scraping all the popcorn that's over on the ceiling, so it's a nice smooth ceilings now with recessed lighting, and enlarging the bathroom upstairs, which the master bedroom was upstairs, which had T-bar ceiling, which I've never seen yet until this house. And we tore off all the ceilings, and we're actually going to make it a vaulted ceiling and leave in a nice piece of wood that we found to kind of match the look that the buyer is looking for. Before there was no lights on the ceilings, so we're doing recessed lighting for the client to make him happy, which is a big selling point after if he ever wants to sell the home. We also, in 1967 and the 70s, they put these swamp coolers, which is kind of like air conditioning units, which don't really work in it's more or less for a dry, humid, like Arizona. This is Santa Clarita, this is Southern California. They don't really use, as you can see, if you pan over, you'll see this house. And you see up on the roof that tart box looking contraption. Well, that is a swamp cooler. And the way they work is they use water and filters, and they kind of fan around to get cold air from the outside and bring it into the house. It doesn't really work here in Southern California. So we used to have one on the roof, which we got rid of, and we're putting AC in throughout the whole house. Since we have a heating system here, we're using the existing ducts, which is going to save our buyer a lot of money. And so without further ado, let me take you through the house and show you what we've done. Start in here, and as you can see, this used to have popcorn ceiling. It has now been scraped, ready to tape and mud, and just put a finish coat and prime it and paint it. We put a couple recessed can lighting in here to kind of illuminate his living room. We've kind of spread them out in a certain situation, we're going to get a nice illumination from reading papers or whatever you can. Let me turn those lights on for you so you can see. put a couple of nice lights above the fireplace to illuminate it, to make it look pretty nice over the mantle. So if he wants to hang things, this is what I was talking about. Was that swamp cooler? Big, ugly, kind of a annoyance in the way, which actually stuck up to about 3 inches here, which probably most of us would hit our heads going up the stairs. But as you can see, throughout the whole house, we sprayed there used to be popcorn all along this hallway, in all the rooms, which now he's going to have a nice smooth surface, which most people like nowadays. They don't like the popcorn. They used to use popcorn in the 70s because it had a fire retardant in it, and that helped with code. But now, with all the newer drywall that you can get